Welcome back to The Next Film. Today I am with Leah McKendrick. She is a Latino filmmaker and actress, killing it in both the independent and studio space. Her first feature, M.F.A., which she wrote, produced, and acted in, is a vigilante thriller which premiered in South by Southwest. And what year was that? 2016? Or
2017. We made it 2016 and then it premiered.
Because it was essentially like the first Me Too film. The timing of that was...
Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's what the New York Times said, that we were the first like Me Too horror film. I mean, I'm honored if that's true.
I mean, that's what the New York Times said. So.
The New York Times said it must be true.
Yeah, the timing of that it just seems like it really aligned, but we'll dig into that more.
Totally.
Because I love that movie.
Thank you.
Her directorial debut, Scrambled, which I also loved so much. It's on Hulu now. And she wrote, directed, and then starred in it. And it premiered at South by Southwest and then was released theatrically by Lionsgate and Roadside Attractions. And then she just wrapped the Netflix original film, Voicemails for Isabelle. And she also wrote, directed, and acted in. And it comes out on Netflix June 19th, which I just learned today. Very excited. So let's dig into kind of the beginning journey, because you started out as like an actor, singer, right?
Singer, yep.
Yeah, I didn't know about the singer. So I think you're such a badass. Like, you're just incredible, and I admire you and your work. I think you're just doing incredible things. So thank you, first of all.
Oh my God, no, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm very excited to have you here.
Yay.
I love all the character and emotions that you put into your stories. I had said this in my first email, but I just feel like your films have always sat with me. Like, they come up on my mind a lot.
I love that.
Yes, me too.
Yay.
How did you kind of find your way into filmmaking?
I think, like a lot of us, I've always just felt so transported by movies.
Yeah.
And I really miss the days when we would go to, where I grew up in San Francisco, we would go to Warehouse. We didn't like have the Blockbuster near us, but and we would get to choose me and my brother and my sister a movie to watch that weekend together, and it was always like the best part, you know, Friday night, like, go pick your movie. It was so much fun, and I always knew that I was going to move down here to Hollywood and pursue my dreams, but my dreams used to really be music focused. Like, I always thought I was going to do like big movie musicals.
Oh,
I thought I was.
Do you still want to?
Oh my God, yeah, totally. I mean, I grew up on like Grease and like Beauty and the Beast, and I was like, I'm going to go to Hollywood and be a singer and an actress. And I was a pop singer, and I fought in that landscape of the music industry, and it has changed so much. I mean, I got a record deal, the label folded. It was really heartbreaking for me, and I always just was quite entrepreneurial. I used to like hire my dancers with my allowance. I used to make my own costumes and write my own music and record on my karaoke machine. I always was like kind of my own little like one-woman show.
Yes.
And then when the label folded, it had never occurred to me that could happen, you know, that you could kind of make it to the mountaintop and then realize that
like crumbled.
Yeah, have it crumble. And it was a really big loss of faith in the universe for me, because I kind of went, if I can't trust like that, what can I trust? So I kept making my own stuff, recording, and I used to produce my own music videos and finance them, and super shoestring.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, you should be on Glee, because you act and you sing and you dance. You should just be on Glee. I was like, great, I'll just be on Glee.
Awesome.
I'll just call them up, and they'll like, everybody says I should be on Glee. And couldn't get in for Glee. And which is funny, because I have a lot of actors that I've cast in my films were from Glee.
Oh, no way.
That I love.
See, the universe eventually brought it together.
Yeah, totally. But I ended up making this web series that was a musical, because I was like, I have to make my own Glee if I can't be on Glee.
Oh, I love that, yes.
So I created this musical that was about sororities at war. It was, and I wrote it, I starred in it, I sang, I danced, I acted, I produced it. And yeah, it kind of took me in this whole new direction of making my own
I love that.
movies.
I love that that's kind of always been your path. It's just like, I'm going to just do all of it.
Always.
Yeah, I love
it. Always. And I realize now, I think I used to think it was out of like necessity, because like nobody else was going to do it. And now I've realized in many ways it's because I'm very opinionated and a little bit controlling and have a very clear idea of what I think it should be.
Yeah, but you have a vision for it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, I don't know if it is, you know, I feel like with women, it just kind of becomes the word controlling.
Sure. Yeah. You're right. That's a great point.
But
yeah.
no, you have a vision for it and you need to execute it, which means, you know,
right.
And it doesn't mean we're not collaborative, but
totally,
it just means that we trust what we're seeing and that we want to bring that to life. Yeah.
And it is, you know, as the productions get bigger, the skill set becomes articulating the vision and hiring more talented people than me gluing rhinestones on my leotards, you know, at 16. Like, you're like, now you get these artists, so translate the vision for them, because you'll never be able to do what they're able to do. So that's a you know, it's a
well, yeah, I mean, I
world.
definitely wanted to dig into that in terms of like, you've really gone from like all the different scales, which is why like I mean, there's a lot of reasons why I admire your journey, but I love that like you started from M.F.A. and, you know, it sounds like even before that, like even scrappier.
That was my first feature, but I had done a ton of shorts and music videos and but that M.F.A. was like my first. Like,
But even that was like the low 6-figure range, right?
Oh yeah, I think we made that for $250.
Wow, yeah,
$240, something like that.
Yeah, and then going on to Scrambled, which was like low 7-figure.
That 1 million.
Okay, yeah, and then now
made
a Netflix
for 1
film,
million.
which obviously we don't talk about budget, but I'm just
can't say
you know,
that
it's
one, but
it's a Netflix film. So
yes,
yeah. So I mean, what is like the biggest changes in scope, do you think, going from all those different things, or what's like the consistent theme through all those?
You know, I will say that, I mean, they all have miraculous aspects. I think when you are keeping it really small and it's you and like your friends, and like with M.F.A. specifically, until I got Natalia, my director, it was really like me and a script. And it was me emailing directors and finding them on Facebook and hitting up financiers, cold emailing, and that's hard. Yeah. You know, hitting up agencies, like that's so hard. But also there's some miracles happen when it's just like a girl with a dream. People want to help that. People do. And I think, you know, we can talk all day long about the challenges of being a female filmmaker, and there are many. But I will also say that, I mean, there were times where a neighbor was like, I'm going to call the cops, I'm shutting you down, like all this stuff. And I would show up and I would be like, this is my film. I know that this is frustrating. I know you have been like hearing noise all day. Like, I'm going to fix this. And they would soften because I'm not this dude in a suit, you know, rolling in. Yeah. And then they'd be like, okay. And I'd be like, all right, come on, boys. To like the trucks, my like 5 trucks.
I love that so much.
You know, I think people underestimate you in a good way in some ways, right? Because they're just kind
use
of
that
like,
to your advantage.
all this little cuties just trying to make her movie. Yeah. And then, you know, you get to grease those wheels a little bit. You get a little, you get to cut those corners sometimes.
No, I do think there's a superpower in like the sensitivity that we also have in navigating those types of situations. Like I found that with my first feature too, in terms, because it was also like, it was a little less than 200K. My first feature, shot it in my hometown. But yeah, so many people as well. Akron, Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah, which I am going back there to shoot as well, just because people are so accommodating.
Yeah, hell yeah. I was always jealous of people from like the small towns, because I'm from the city of San Francisco, which is one of the most expensive cities to shoot in. They don't care about Hollywood. Yeah. They don't care about your movie set. And so I was always like, man, the way that I would be able to rally the troops if I was from like a small town, I'd be hitting up the dentist, I'd be hitting up the catering.
It's exactly what
it is. Like I was like, there was a reason I was not born in a small town. I would own that shit. But I will say I got to shoot voicemails in my hometown.
Oh, nice.
So it took me getting to the studio level to be able to finally go back to my hometown and shoot there. And
why did I think it was shot in Vancouver?
So we shot it. It's set in SF. Okay. We shot it in Vancouver, but I got a couple days.
Got it. Nice.
To do like exteriors and some really special.
I love that
sequences.
Oh, awesome! That's so fun. Full circle.
Thank you. It was.
Yeah. But I just find that like when you are approaching people with like a more sensitive and like just being honest as well.
Totally.
Yeah, it's not like you're being manipulative. It's just like, this is all I have. Totally. Is there any way you can work with me?
Literally, this is all I have. Yeah. Specifically with M.F.A. At that time in my life, I was going through a breakup. I had no money. All the money that I had, I'd put into the movie because I felt strongly that when I was going around talking to investors and I said, I would tell them, I said, I don't have any money except for this chunk, my life savings, and it's in the movie. Like, that is how much I believe in my film.
Yeah.
And I promise you, and I used to tell people, I cannot guarantee you're going to make your money back. I cannot guarantee that, but I can promise you're going to be proud of this movie. I know you are, and I know that you're going to be like stoked to have your name on it and be a part of it. And I promise you it's going to get finished, and you'll never see me stop fighting for it.
I love that. And look where you are now, too.
Oh,
I bet you they're so proud.
They are proud. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I love that. So why did you decide not to direct M.F.A?
You know, I've had an interesting road to directing because I did not move here wanting to direct. I did not. I mean, as an actress, I'd worked with a lot of directors, and I didn't even pay attention to what they were doing. I was very much like, I'm an actress. But I started to realize that a lot of directors I worked with they just don't talk to you. You know?
Was that on film set or TV sets?
Yeah, both.
Both? Interesting.
It's don't really, they are lovely and they kind of welcome you, and then they're kind of off doing their thing. And just keep doing that. You got it. And you're like, okay. And with M.F.A. specifically, I was originally going to star.
Oh, okay. Francesca's role.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And so I was looking for a director to direct me, which is kind of what I had done in all of my stuff. I would get another director to come in and direct me, and I would always star.
Is that what you were doing that on your shorts?
Yeah.
Okay.
On everything. Everything that I made. Have I acted in everything? I think I have starred in every single thing.
I love it. I love it.
I'll write scripts for friends and give them to them, or I will sometimes, mentor people that they'll give me some kind of producing credit, but when it's my project, I always starred. And it was so overwhelming, the level of producing I needed to do, because we were shooting at Chapman, which is where I went, and so I was that liaison, and I was rewriting some stuff, and there were casting, just a million things. And it was becoming so overwhelming, and a couple people had said to me, you should direct, but I had never directed anything. And I was like, I can't do what? But and I'm very grateful that what I did was I had a very high bar for who I wanted to direct it. And I was like, I know I need a female filmmaker. I know I don't want a first-time female filmmaker. I want to learn from her. And so Natalia had all of that. She's just super brave, and she's experienced. She's got a vision. She had been through tough stuff in art school herself. Really, I don't want to speak to her story, but had a really rough experience in art school with a guy, and quite traumatizing, that really she infused into the film in a way that I couldn't have. And she said, she was the one that said to me, she was like, you have these high visions for the film. I know you want to go to South by. I know you want to sell it. I know you want it to go to theaters. It will be easier if we get someone nameer than you, a bigger name. And it was trust me, it was not the first time somebody had brought that up to me. It was not the first time I'd thought about it. And she was not telling me, she was not like, it's no deal for me if you don't step down. But by that point, I was buried in producing work. And I said, great, then let's cast somebody great. And obviously I was a part of it. And I think Franny is better than I would have been. Okay. She's amazing. And Natalia directed the shit out of that film, and it became one of my proudest achievements. So I have absolutely no regrets. I'm really happy, and I got to learn a lot from that process. But one of the things that I learned was if I write something for myself,
you're going to keep with that? I'm
sticking to it.
Yeah.
But, I had to go through that to learn how, what that feels like, and the ways that that's beautiful, and the ways that that's painful. And there's no secret, I've talked to both of them about that, but I'm so proud of Franny's performance, and she's incredible. Proud of Natalia. Yeah. We did the damn thing.
Yeah.
And we went to South by and we sold it and it went to theaters. And so she was right. We got it all done. But it taught me a lot. And when it came to Scrambled, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it all this time.
Which I definitely want to dig into in terms of advocating. But just while we're on M.F.A, because I just want to know in terms of, because my next feature has similar themes. It's a vigilante.
Dope.
We're not seeing anything on screen, but it's like everything that happened to her is like anything before and we don't touch on it, but still a vigilante. But how did you handle those difficult themes while on set? And this was like before intimacy coordinators were even like a thing, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's why it was really important to have somebody as sensitive and intelligent and empathetic and professional as Natalia. It was just them. It was Nat and my actors and the DP. And we all, me included, we all stepped away and let them. There was no monitors. We shut it down, and it was a trust fall, a leap of faith. But I, as producer and writer, I didn't want to be there. I felt protective of our actors as well, and wanted it to feel. If I was like worried about anything, it was just for my actors' like mental health, experiencing that, knowing how talented she is and that she would go there. If anything, I was wanting to hold her heart in my hand from afar, you know, but they went for it, man. They went for it. For better or worse, I will tell you, it's like, in some ways, the fact that you're not showing any sexual assault in the film is helpful from a perspective of selling the film, the commercial aspect. We had, as you know, a quite brutal, quite visceral rape scene in my film. And me and Natalia talked about it at length and how we wanted to do it. And like, she felt strongly we had to go for it and not sanitize it and not sort of lean on like an artistic depiction.
I feel like at that moment too, though, like so many of the other scenes in other movies have been through the male lens.
That's right.
And so this is like, I think it's important that at this time that this was through the female lens and we are seeing it, because I do think that that really puts us in that headspace and within this film. And I think it's important how, and the way that you all shot it. And also, it still felt like a sensitive lens. Like you do, you start to move just with her. And
right. It's really focused on her and her experience and not in any way fetishized, which is so weird. A lot of these. I thought, by the way, this is so funny. I thought that I had like literally invented the rape revenge film. When I was writing it, I'm like a baby writer, right? This was like my first feature. And I was like, oh my God, I have this concept that no one has ever thought of. It has never been. No one has ever even come close in cinema's history. And then as I wrote it and as I started to research, I was like, oh, this is like a complete subgenre of horror. but
not in the best.
But not by women.
Yes.
And I think just that alone was radical that women would make a rape revenge film and when I started to watch some, it was really hard for me because it was so, in my mind, so different from how I imagined these types, my film, to how the story, the format, the tone. So much of it was like him undoing his, like groaning, and it was on his face, and it was all about his sick pleasure. And even though we're gonna have that wish fulfillment, the murdering of the rapists or the aggressors, I'm sick now from what I witnessed, and so. It was like, how far can we go that we don't lose the audience because they're like holding themselves for comfort, but also we have to show it from her perspective and focus on her trauma and the ways Natalia felt it was really important that there's a death that happens in that scene, that she dies in that scene, and a new her comes to the surface, is unearthed. The way that you have to sort of be reborn after sexual assault, because it takes something from you that is you cannot repair. And I think that's the part that I think a lot of films and people, if you have never experienced it, it's really hard to articulate. And I'm it was visceral. It was, as you know, quite vivid. But then hopefully you do not blame her when she goes on her time.
No, it's fulfilling. It's fun.
When she goes for it, you're like, I get it, girl.
Yeah. Well, I heard you talk in another interview how it was actually a little bit like heavier before, and then it became a little more vigilante Tarantino-esque.
Yeah,
right?
My original draft was like so dark. I think I was just so mad.
Yeah.
I was so angry, and I don't feel that there was a lot of like fun there, which is interesting because me as a writer and as a human, I have like humor in everything that I do, And so I don't know if I was just, I was still trying to find my voice as a writer and maybe as a woman. And my professor, John Bennett from Chapman, read it. I trusted him. I trust him so much implicitly. And he was the one that said, like, what if it just felt good when she was killing the rapist and we had these one-liners? Because you love a one-liner and, like, it's like Django Unchained. And I was like, ooh, yes, that I can do. And that note alone changed the entire tone of the film. Yeah. And I'm very glad that I went to him. And I'm surprised. I feel like that is never a note that I get in my life anymore, like have more fun with it. You know what I mean? I was like, so all I do is have fun with my, all I do is try to make you laugh during like really intensely dark shit. But yeah, so it became what it did. And there was still darkness, as you know, and I think if I had directed it, it's really interesting. I thought about this the other day. I would never even want a different M.F.A. because I think M.F.A. is perfect the way it is, and I love what we made. But I think my voice as a director is a bit more, like tongue-in-cheek and satirical and a little more broad comedy. Yeah. So it would have been a very different film. And I don't think a better film, but it is interesting to think about the ways that a director really does chart the course and stick the landing. And,
Well, as your writer, though, because I do feel like it still has like a nice balance of like taking the subject serious and giving it justice and the gravitas, but also still giving us some relief and some fun, within that character. Is there anything like specific you were thinking when, trying to give it due diligence, but also it's still a movie at the end of the day that kind of needs to entertain, or are you just not thinking about that anyways?
Yeah, finding that balance, do you mean?
Yeah. Are you not thinking about the fact that it has to be a movie?
Oh, you mean making it entertaining?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of, I think, where that note comes from in terms of like making it, like, what if it felt good, and she had fun with this. And
that was the right note.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that you say that because I think a lot about what it takes to be, because I get asked this a lot, I think specifically is why I think about it. People asking about how to get that first like script sale or like how to get reps or how to have a career as a writer in Hollywood or a filmmaker in Hollywood. And so much of it is like hard to articulate because it is these balances, right? This one aspect of it is finding that tonal balance. And I think what I like to do, and I cannot speak to everybody has their own superpower, but one thing that I know that I love to play with is a surprise of tone. So in a eulogy scene, for example, in my new film, trying to make you laugh. But my character is not laughing.
Right.
But no one's in the room is laughing except for hopefully you. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
having levity and laughs during the darkest scenes and then making you cry during some really joyful scenes and fun scenes because you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling moved by something. I'm unexpectedly being affected. That's always like this push and pull that I'm like really interested in doing in my work. But
yes, and I think you're doing very successfully.
Thank you. But I think with M.F.A. that was a constant like calibration of making sure we're honoring the subject matter and that we're not shying away or sanitizing it for entertainment's sake.
Right.
But also that it's not a slog or like a PSA. Yeah. Or something that you never want to rewatch. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's really hard. Like, it's really hard to have a rape revenge film that anybody ever wants to see again. but like I saw.
Well, I did, yeah.
I saw Revenge.
I watched multiple, yeah.
Do you know the movie Revenge?
Yeah, wait, yes. Oh,
It's
yes. Coralie's first, yes.
It's so rad. And it also has a quite brutal sexual assault, but
in its own way, like through a female lens.
Yes. And I love that movie, and it's colorful, it's vibrant, it's visceral, it's sensory. And I think she did a great job of not shying away.
Yes.
But also commercial, fun, adventure, feminist as fuck.
Yeah.
So it can be done, but it's like you're constantly dialing it in. It's happening in the script phase, it's happening on set, and it's definitely happening in editing. And then it's a whole other ball game when it comes to marketing, and that is above my pay grade. I am still learning that. Trust me, I'm in the midst of it right now.
Yeah.
Still trying to figure that out. It's tough.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, and then in terms of like, because this is both to M.F.A. and Scrambled, and obviously I haven't seen voicemails, but it sounds like maybe also that. But how are you? I feel like you're putting so much of yourself into your work, which is obviously great. But how are you, because it's also very emotional, how are you making sure you're still feeling safe while making sure your work's not feeling safe?
I never feel safe.
Okay. And you're just accepting it?
Yeah. Peace in the chaos.
Okay.
You know, I cry all the time. I mean, I feel like I've come to terms with the fact that like, I live very open-heartedly, and I expose a lot of myself all of the time. I embarrass myself all of the time. And that is just like what it is to be me. Yeah. And if I covered myself up, or I shared less of myself, put less of myself in my work, I wouldn't even recognize that way of working. And I wouldn't even know what to pull from. And here's the truth is like, I do believe that like you have to live, breathe, sleep, dream your movie. It owns your life for a year, you know,
or more.
Yeah, totally, or potentially many years. Yeah. And I don't know that I could give up the things that I have given up if I wasn't obsessed with what I was making. And the only way that I'm obsessed with what I'm making is because it's coming from a true experience that I feel like the world needs to hear, or I've witnessed something that we're not talking about, that women specifically need to know about. And I want community, and I'm exercising my own demons. And so I don't know how, like, look, power to the filmmakers that can like read a script and go shoot the thing and go home to their families and clock in, clock out. That's not how I operate. And,
I can't imagine
in some ways
either.
it must be nice, you know, to kind of like, I heard that Jennifer Lawrence specifically, she's really good at like separating. And she's like, when I'm out, like when I go home, like I did it. I don't really remember what I did. And I'm sure that's a really healthy way of like working. I guess it's a little different when you're like wearing a lot of different hats, but man, yeah, like to an unhealthy point. I wonder if like having a kid would change that, if I would have to sort of like
learn to compartmentalize. Yeah.
I'm also married to a filmmaker.
Okay, yeah.
So he understands that like sometimes I come home and I'm physically at home, but I'm still mentally working out what happened or didn't happen that day, or I'm still processing something that isn't quite working in my work, or I'm still, you know, writing emails, creating things to show them, to pitch them, to I'm still calling people and texting people, and I'm getting ideas in the middle of the night, and I'm like, I got it. You know, he understands that's...
No, it's important to have a partner who gets that.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine does too.
Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. It's like, what'd she say? Oh God, is it Sheryl Sandberg? Who said this? They said the biggest career choice you'll ever make is who you marry.
I haven't heard that, but yeah.
I hope I didn't attribute it to the wrong person. Sorry, Sheryl Sandberg.
I can look it up and
figure out. It's fine who said that. But I really took that so seriously when I was dating, and because I was like, I don't always think it's healthy, the amount of myself and my mental bandwidth that is focused on my work, but I'm like living my dream.
You are, yeah. It's like your work is also
my work is my passion. It's my everything.
But I feel like it shows that you're putting everything into it, and that's why it's succeeding, and we love it. Yeah.
But it's so I was like, I cannot like marry somebody that's gonna resent me for that or hold it against me. And sometimes it has been specifically in this past year because I got married like 2 weeks after wrapping voicemails, and I had to go straight into post. So it was kind of like he had to plan the wedding essentially with my wedding planner, and then it was like I like did a week of editing, and then I went to New Orleans to get married, and then we went on our honeymoon, and I just slept the entire honeymoon. I was not awake at all. So whatever like sexy honeymoon, like we all thought we were gonna, no, that was not. And he was like so loving and sweet, and
I love that.
But yeah, it's been hard.
How long did voicemails shoot for?
We shot for, gosh, it's all a blur now. Okay, I think we prepped for 2 months, and then we shot for 2 or 3 months.
Oh wow!
It was 35 days of shooting.
Okay.
Yeah, 33 days in Vancouver and 2 days in SF.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is that the longest shoot you've done?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long was Scrambled?
20 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And speaking of Scrambled, because I love that movie so much, and I feel like just hearing you talk about thinking about the joy and the levity and the emotion, I feel like I was on a constant journey with that. Of like I'm crying and then I'm like happy and laughing, and it's it's so fun. But I know you talked a lot about like having imposter syndrome, but also advocating for yourself in terms of being the lead and the director. How did you kind of find that balance of like fighting all these people while also having this imposter syndrome of it?
Yeah, I feel like I don't have, as a director, I think this is the like saving grace. I wonder what it's like for you. As a director, there's almost like no space to feed your insecurities.
Yeah.
Like you don't have the emotional or mental bandwidth to even listen to. There's 8 zillion voices and things to do. You're writing and starring, and I'm like in every scene. The imposter syndrome that I felt really only had a chance to like seep in at night, but by that point I'm too tired. I'm passed out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it was like you're kind of just like it's going, and we got to move. We got to move. So I think the simple way that I handled my imposter syndrome was by being super busy.
Yeah.
All the time. Not giving it any. Yeah. And kind of like they say, like Elizabeth Gilbert says in her book, Big Magic.
Oh, I love that book, yeah.
It's such a great book. She says, you know, insecurity and fear, and you can all be in the car, but you don't get to drive.
Yes.
Like, I know you're just trying to keep me safe. You can be here. You can chill. We're all good. But I'm driving the car. And that's what it felt like. It was always there, but I was driving the car because there was too much to do.
And then how, if, you know, because you talk about putting all this of yourself into it, do you ever find that balance on set of the starring and the directing with the emotionalness a hard balance?
You know, it's so interesting. I was just talking about this to somebody that I remember. I mean, you know what it is. When you're like in the middle of production, you're like The Walking Dead a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you're not really sleeping well.
No.
I mean, when I'm like directing something, I'm still working on the shots from the day before, and I'm still on set, and I'm still having conversation. Like it's like you might be, your body might be asleep, but your brain is not asleep.
Still going, yeah.
And you like, everything starts to blur a little bit, and you're like a little bit of an insane person, like running on caffeine. But I remember specifically that scene in Scrambled with the camera overhead, and I'm lying on the ground, and I have like my belly. It's like the spinning shot. It's coming down. I have my belly out. I'm like in my panties, and it's like this dark moment, dark night of the soul. It's during the Changes song like montage. I remember having this weird like meta moment where like time blurred and like folded in on itself, and I thought I was like back freezing my eggs again because it was because you're crafting this representation of the truth of what actually happened, and it happened to you, and you're on the floor, and you start to feel like it's like the life imitating art imitating life, and everything starts to become one a little bit. What was that? Was that your question?
Yes and no. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Because,
question?
I was finding the same, essentially like balancing those emotions coming in, which are important as the actor, but also then still having to have that director hat on, or like, and then finding. Yeah, I guess, I mean, it's something that I think I could do better on this next feature, because I'm also starring in it.
Hell yeah.
Because I did that with my first feature.
Right on.
And I mean, I think I did well for my first feature for the most part, but I definitely know that there was moments where I'm like, I let the emotion of my character bleed a little too much.
Yeah, in your directing work.
I think so. Where it's like, I mean, luckily there was one scene specifically where it's like, it was the end of the night, so it was fine. But like, everyone's off, it's wrapped and hanging out. And I'm like, I just need like 2 hours to stare at this wall and decompress. Because like the emotions are over you. And I guess that's something that, hopefully you can ask for. It's like, I just need a minute.
You gotta ask for that.
But yeah, did you find like you were, having that type of, or any sort of like trick you have of putting the actor hat and then the director hat?
Wow, that's a really good question. I mean, I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to go back to the Scrambled days. I will tell you, I was so in love with my movie. Mm-hmm. Like, as it was happening, it was one of the most fulfilling, joyful experiences of my life, because I'd come from many years after M.F.A. of like writing studio movies, and I was really struggling, losing my mind. Also, we'd had a pandemic.
Right.
That little thing.
That thing.
But I was really stir crazy and losing my mind. And I think there's, for many reasons, we could talk about this all day, but like part of it is that as an actor, it's a team sport.
Yeah.
You're in class, you're touching each other all the time, everybody's hooking up, and there's a lot of friendship there. You're texting at night. You're rehearsing in each other's houses.
They know too much about you.
They know everything about you.
Yeah.
You go and you shoot a movie. Then you're in New Orleans with a cool group of people, and you're going out every night together. And there's so much community, and it's built that way. It's a team sport. It feels like basketball or football. And then you become a writer, and you're alone with your laptop all the time. And it felt like I went from being like a football player to being like a track star. And I was like, I'm lonely. I'm in my own world all the time.
Yeah.
I miss set. I used to make movies. Like, I wasn't making any money. But at least I was like making movies, and you could go and you could watch my stuff.
Yeah.
And now I just sit here and I churn things out that are never going to see the light of day. And every single time. Because I think
you had said on an interview there was like 2 scripts that fell through on the same day.
A zillion. Yeah. Oh, in one day, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
There was a regime change at one of the studios, and my like, what was going to be what I thought my directorial debut and my big movie musical both died. And I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I cannot do this anymore. I have given years.
I can't imagine that. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. After all the stuff that you give over to a script and letting it be birthed, and then to just have it. Yeah. It
and
sounds so
is
painful.
The nature
that's almost
of the
like
beast.
A baby.
It is like a baby.
Yeah.
Especially,
you give so much to it.
You give everything to it, especially the way that I write movies.
Yeah.
Which is like, I always have to find something super uber personal.
Yeah.
That is my North Star in it, and that guides me. So there's a piece of me in everything that I have written, everything. And so to see the political process that we have to navigate to get to green lights, and most of them will never get even up for green light. I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And I'm an indie feral kid, I come from gluing rhinestones onto my leotards, using my allowance to hire my friends to dance for me, like recording my own music. I come from like getting my friends, and they won't give me the theater at Chapman, so I'm going to put it up on the steps. Like, that is like what I come from. And so suddenly I felt like I had golden handcuffs. And obviously I'm getting paid. Obviously I'm working, and that's a blessing.
Right.
but I was dying.
Yeah.
I was dying. And then, so I was kind of like, it was like, hang on, because these 2 projects are the ones, like, this is happening. You just got hired to direct this script that you love. And your big movie musical is finally getting made after 3 years. It's happening, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. Oh, wait, none of it's happening. Yeah. And then I broke.
Yeah.
And I was like, not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
It is, I'm trading years of my life for money.
Yeah.
That is what I have. I don't have any movies from the past 6 years to speak up for what I have and I've been working my ass off from deadline to deadline to deadline to deadline. I work my ass off and I have nothing to show for it except for money. I'm done. I'm going to go write a movie about freezing my eggs. I'm going to write it right now and I'm greenlighting myself.
I love that.
I have my own money.
Chills.
I'll finance it myself.
You're such a badass.
Thank you.
God,
but yeah, I was just
cool.
like, back then, all I ever wanted was like a female filmmaker to be like, female like investor to be like, I believe in you. Here's the check. I was like, I am that investor now. Yeah. I'm going to go do it myself. I've made a movie at $200K. I'll do it again.
Yeah.
And that was when, but then, it was like my team really showed me like, you don't have to do that again. You have a team now and we're going to help you.
That's beautiful.
And even though I was like, I have no one, it's just me against the world. There's no one. The cavalry isn't coming. And they were like, calm down. Calm down. We can do this
we're
together.
Right here next to you. Yeah.
You don't need to like burn the world down. And they did. Then they stepped up and they sent it around and I had a lot of meetings. And that's when Jillian and Jonathan, my producers, got on board and Lionsgate got on board and we went to South by and it turned into this like miraculous, beautiful, life-saving experience. So me getting to be on set and making my movie.
And starring in it.
I mean, it was like, we didn't have a lot of money or a lot of time, but it was everything I had been dying to be doing and I wasn't able to do. And I felt like I was a racehorse that had been in a, oh shit, what are those things called?
I was going to say a cage, but that's
what
not right.
What are the horses in?
Just like a shed?
There's a name. Oh, Jesus.
No. It's okay. We're actors. We're creative.
We're actors. I'm like a writer. But
we have laptops to Google. Okay, yeah.
I'm from San Francisco, man. All right, leave me alone.
I should know from Ohio, but that's more of like a middle of America thing. I'm like, corn.
Okay, you got corn.
I don't have horses. I have corn.
I've got drag queens. I'm from San Francisco.
There we go. That's better.
So I was like a racehorse stuck in a stable for many years, and I was finally getting to run, and I was just like, I don't care about money. I don't care about optics. I don't care about big studio sales. Like I just was like, I am making movies because I came here to make movies.
I love that.
And that was what that was the game changer.
Scrambled
for me.
is just such a beautiful birth, I think, of that, all of that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was so enjoyable. I feel like, do you think your background is, because were you a dancer too?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I actually started as a dancer.
Oh, rad.
But I love all of your needle drops, and I feel like you have such a good, yeah, I feel like your musicality and your dancerness is definitely embedded in the film.
Totally.
Yeah. Do you ever edit?
Oh my God, no.
No? Okay.
I mean, I sit with my editors and we do it together, but I don't myself. I'm quite, as you could ask Lee, my editor that just did voicemails. I'm very specific.
Okay.
Very specific, but I know right away if I love it or hate it. I'm like, nope, yes, nope. So I don't edit. I don't have that skill set. It is so helpful to have an editor like Lee, who she got an Emmy. She's been doing it a million years. She's done some of my favorite movies, Crazy Stupid Love. She's an incredible icon. Because I'm super opinionated, but sometimes I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, yeah, I do. Here it is.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, yep. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I will hit, and sometimes I'm wrong. And it's like, somebody needs to be like, here's why we need it, and we can argue about it. It's really great to have somebody that's just
I have my
trust. Your right hand.
I have an editor like that who she's willing to say, what she thinks too. And I'm like, you're right. Well, especially when we're acting in it too.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That outside perspective, sometimes you're just so in it. It's hard.
But it sounds like the way that you were just kind of describing it, do you feel like you just kind of feel if it's right or not.
Totally.
Which
but
sometimes
things
I think
change, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the crazy part is like I'm very opinionated because in script form, I'm directing it in my head, right? I'm like saying it out loud how I want it to be performed. I'm like trying to find that rhythm through punctuation, and like the needle drops, I'm already listening to them and like editing it in my head, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I come to it and it doesn't work. Like the way we had to shoot it differently, or there's something better than what was initially envisioned. And that's why you pull in the people that are better at this than you to be like, I've got an idea.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things that happens in my new movie was not in the script, and it was just an idea, and it's motivated by a needle drop, and it is my favorite moment in the entire movie.
I love a good needle drop.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I want to dig into voicemail since we're actually allowed to talk about it, because I did not know that was going to be the case. But real quick, to kind of bleed the three together, blend the three, is there, like, what's the biggest lessons that you think made Scrambled a success that you took away from M.F.A.? And then we'll go into any lessons from Scrambled that you took into voicemails that you think helped.
Yeah, okay. So the jump from M.F.A. to Scrambled.
Because they're all pretty, like, like,
Yeah.
like your small budget indie, and then, the
a little
like,
bit
middle,
bigger, middle kind of hybrid indie and studio distribution.
And all, successfully executed.
Thank you. I mean, I think what M.F.A. gave me was the confidence to step into the other roles, to not just supporting actress, but to star, to direct, and that I could trust my instincts. I think when you're a young filmmaker, you're still like, am I good at this? Does this make sense? Like, even like, I think about this all the time with like pitching. I don't feel like anybody ever told me what pitching was or like how you're supposed to do it. And I feel like in some ways when I didn't know what I was doing, I was really good at it because I was like, this is the thing that I do know. And it's a single scene. And I'm just going to like paint that picture. And it was always enough. I did really well because it was like all people really need is to be moved. Whatever that means to you, whether it's you really want to make people laugh or you really want to like romance or like drama or like whatever it is, you need to hit them. And then when I became a more experienced screenwriter and I started to understand, okay, this is act 1, act 2, this is going to be the midpoint. It was almost like I became more clinical in the way that I approached my work. And that wasn't helpful to me in pitches. Yeah. Like, I think people don't care. You're going to figure that out anyway. What they want to know is that there's a real beating heart and there's a real vision there.
Oh, that really just speaks to me right now.
Right on.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love,
because
sorry, continue.
Yeah. Anyway, and like the format, we need to pull this up. This needs to happen by page 25, like blah, blah, blah. Who cares? That's all details.
Yeah.
But what really matters is that you as a filmmaker are seeing it, seeing the castles in the sky. And it's like, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? And you're like, I see a scene. And that's really what it is. It's like, paint a picture for them. Tell them a campfire story. Do you ever have like that friend who's just so great at telling stories and everyone is riveted? Yeah. And everyone is like, and then what happens?
Right.
That's what it is. Yeah. Be that friend that tells a great story and everyone's laughing and no one, everyone's in it, locked in. Wait, what am I talking about? Bringing M.F.A. to Scrambled. Yeah, it was, trusting my own instincts. And I think what happened was, you almost start to get insecure the more you know. Yes. The more you realize, like I always think of it, it's like you're climbing up a ladder along like a mountain, like a cliff. And when you're not looking down and you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah. You're like, okay, you're pitching, you're trying things. And then the minute that you look down, you're like, I have no business being up here. Like, I am way too high and I don't actually know what I'm doing. And if I take one wrong step,
Yeah.
I could fall down this mountainside, and suddenly you start to like freeze up, and you're grasping things, you're gripping things too tightly, and it's that's like the beginner luck thing, right?
Yeah.
Where you're just like, I don't know what's happening, I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
You're not looking down.
That's such a good metaphor, because
You
that's
know?
exactly where I'm like kind of feeling. Yeah.
You start to realize all the things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
In all the ways that this could be a totally terrible idea,
but that you were like not worried about when you were down there.
Yeah,
Like,
because you're just kind of like, I know this is cool, and I think this is funny.
and like there's less space to fall.
That's right.
So it's like, it won't hurt that bad.
Nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
And then suddenly people are watching, and you start to second guess yourself. And I would say, fight that inclination. Like, really go back to the like beginner luck mindset when you were just motivated by having a single seed.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I'm making it for me, and I like it.
Yeah.
That should be enough.
I really had to do that with this last script of mine. And I just like kept reading Rick Rubin's The Creative Actor, like listening to him on podcasts, because he's so just like mellow and doesn't give a shit. Like he's not concerned about any of the outcome or like outside validation. And that he was like my North Star during the script, because I felt like kind of that. But I do think even just now, like, because we're moving from like development into pre-production, and just hearing you talk about this now is like just such a great reminder of like, keep the feeling, because I'm literally talking to investors right now to like finish the rest of the financing. And I was like, I don't know if I have been as feeling, motivated in the pitch which I know I was with my first feature, because that's all I had.
That's all you had.
Yeah.
I know. It's so true. It's like you have to constantly check yourself and go, I'm not here to tell them to like woman-splain what a script is, or what a movie is, or what the trajectory is.
Or like I feel like I've been selling like what it, the end, not the end result, but of like, oh, this thing we're making and these people I have by my side, which are amazing, talented people that I'm so grateful to be with, but like kind of forgetting the point of like this emotion, this movie, this character that we're selling.
That's all it is, because let's be honest, movies are a risky bet, especially now, especially independent. It's not, there are much smarter ways to get your money back. You know what I mean? Like, you can do a lot and have a lot more data to support a return, right?
Yeah.
Why do you invest in movies? Because they're fucking cool, and they can change lives.
And feel something.
And feel something.
Take you on a ride.
And they're sexy, and you can come to the set, and you can meet people, and you can make friends for life. Like, it is all heart.
Yeah.
It is nothing up here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
If we're all really honest with ourselves, you want to be smart, go like invest in the stock market or in parking lots. You know what I mean? Like nobody, that's not sexy or fun.
No.
But movies, and that's why I think like my cousin was my first investor on M.F.A.
Oh, nice.
And I really do like love him for that. Because it was a terrible investment. but
also not, because again, like, look at your journey. Like, it's taken you.
I mean, he's gotten has he gotten all his money back? I don't know, maybe. But he was my first investor, and it was like, he's a lawyer. Like, he knows that this isn't smart, quote unquote. But he was like, I'm going to come have a line in this movie. I'm going to come to Hollywood. I'm going to put on this little outfit. I made him like a paramedic or something. I cut his line. He was so pissed. But he liked it. He flew in for the day. He kind of like, saw how the sausage was made, pieced out. You know what I mean? Like, it was like,
I love
it's a fun thing to do. We all got a little bit of a love for the movies.
No, that's true. I had said this on another episode, but quickly, so many of my investors for my first film, I was a bartender at a cigar club, and we're just like my regulars there.
Nice.
But they're all just like suits, working in finance, working in these things, and it's like they know better, but here they are, like this passionate bartender just sold me on her Ohio movie.
I think that's so baller.
Yeah, I don't know.
love that. Good for you.
Thanks. But again, like sticking to that why, really. Like that's what gets the money people on board too, though. Like not just your why for yourself of keep going, but like that why is also what sells people.
Totally. The finance guys, they know numbers. They know what's a bet and what feels safe. They know this. They don't care. That's not why they're investing in your
you're making them feel warm when numbers don't.
That's exactly. You're a human that has a story to tell.
Yeah.
And I would be like, take my money, run, off you go, you know, figure it out. And I really do commend you, because I go on a lot of meetings with filmmakers, and what they really want to do is send their scripts to the production companies or get them a producer that's going to sell it to a studio. And trust me, I really do understand how that feels like the only route. And that feels, and to me, I wish I could be more inspiring and like, you can do, it does feel more and more like the lotto. And I'll tell you that being somebody that writes for the studios, there's no guarantee that you are closer to making a movie. You know, it took me, I wrote voicemails in 2018.
Oh, really?
I sold it in 2018.
Holy moly.
Yeah, we sold it right away, but this is how many years. I got to
crap.
shoot in 2025.
Wow. And I mean, obviously, I know there's the pandemic and the strikes. Was that the majority of the reasons it took so long? Or was it just like...
No, it was just, I mean, yeah, pandemic
they're just doing whatever they got to do?
There was a competing project that played a part. Politics and...
Was it always with Netflix?
No, it was with Sony.
Okay.
It was with Sony, and then, you know, I'm really grateful to Netflix. Netflix, yeah, they saved me, man. I was on strike. We were all on strike.
Right.
I didn't know what was happening with Scrambled, because we'd had this beautiful premiere at South by, and then we went on strike.
Oh, snap.
And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen with my movie, but in a beautiful, beautiful twist of fate from the universe, like, a lot of people had seen Scrambled. You know, a lot of the business at least had seen Scrambled, and Netflix went to Sony and said, let's do this movie together, and let's let Leah direct it.
I love that.
So it was a deal that happened while I was on strike, because it was between the studios and didn't actually involve me. It was more like a buying of my contract and then the script. And then I came out of my strike, and it was like, we got your script back. Now
you
go
get to
rewrite
go make it.
Oh, no.
Damn.
Story of my life. And then I will tell you that even that was really hard on me, because, you know, you finally get to make something.
Yeah.
You're drunk with power. You're like...
In the studio, like, you're making it with the studio now, too.
Well, yeah. You know, I was like, I made something honest, and now everything is going to change. And then to kind of go back into development feels like, oh no, I'm back. I like literally got transported back to my life a year ago that I was running from, and why I made Scrambled. So, but it wasn't the same.
Okay.
Because now I had a directing career, and now there was a new understanding that I wasn't going to be a gun for hire anymore as a writer. That I was done doing.
You weren't taking shit.
I'm done doing rewrites.
Yeah.
Unless it's like something really specific, I'm done selling my stuff. Unless there's a route to production, I would rather go make my own stuff. You know, I want to make movies. I don't want to just sit alone with my laptop anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what does that look like in terms of like writing something personal? Because I think I started to hear you talk about it a little bit on an interview, because I didn't realize it was about two sisters and that you have a sister. And literally I have a little sister who is my everything. So I already was like, fuck, this movie's going to fuck me probably, like in the best way. But it's going to. Also just like knowing how your work affected me in the other two films, I'm like, I'm in for something.
I cry every time I watch it. And obviously, you know.
Yeah.
Made it.
But how does that, in terms of like having a studio and I'm sure like more opinions in the room and, you know, more money and all that, like, does that get, like, does the script, how do you protect that, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, look, everybody's just trying to make a great film. Nobody is trying to take you, to pull you off track. But it's really important to have a North Star. whatever that is, you know, and you really need to figure that out for yourself. What is my North Star on this film that I'm not compromising on, you know? And it can get really hard because I think sometimes you think if I just take the notes, then they'll reward me by making my movie.
Yeah.
If I can just make everyone happy, then I can make my movie. But like they say, you're an idiot if you take all of the notes, and you're an idiot if you take none of the notes. So it really becomes a dance. And I don't know how you do it except for experience. Like, that's my honest truth. Like, I think I'm much better today. I think I used to just feel so attacked. And I would just cry when I would get notes and I'd be like, they hate my movie and they don't understand. And like, they're ruining my movie. They want me to ruin my movie. And it was like when I was younger, I felt like I wanted to just quit the whole thing. I didn't want to dismantle my work. But I think I have realized that a lot of that pain came from an insecurity that if I dismantled it, I wouldn't know how to put it back together again. That I had written something that worked. Like, this works, right? Because you guys bought it and you paid me and it's on the blacklist and people love it and I get emails and like, so it has to work, but you're having me change all these things. What if I break it? And then I can't put it back together and it doesn't work. I don't know that I have the experience or the magic or the skill to know how to. This is already a miracle that I did this. Like, I'm not good enough to do this again, you know?
When I feel like you're in a different headspace when you zone when you write the script,
yes.
right? So it's like, how do I tap back into that? Because I was 100%. That was a different version of me that I locked into.
So true. Yeah. And like you hit this like flow state. And I really did with voicemails. When I wrote voicemails, it was like coming, I was like, it was just was like so clear.
What I live for.
Yeah. And I was like, it's there. And it was everywhere. And I wrote it so fast and it sold immediately. And it was like that magical experience that people, you know, people hear about these stories and you got me out of debt and like got me all the reps and like, so then you're like, but I thought I did the thing. So what I say is like, you know, John August's podcast and Craig Mason's podcast, Script Notes, was really helpful in that period of my life. Yeah. And learning that you did something beautiful. And notes don't mean that you didn't do the thing, you know, but that so much of our job is going to be a collaboration and taking the notes. And I have discovered that so much it can be so fruitful to just try. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Just try. You have the scene, you have it saved, take the scene out, try the note, just try it and see how it feels. And sometimes you'll discover while you're trying to implement it, I've got a better version that satisfies both of our notes. Yeah. And if it doesn't work or you tried it and you hate it, you can go back and you can say, I tried it. Here's why I don't think it's working. Rather than just hoping it's going to disappear. Right. It's not going to disappear. You know, I always try to tell writers, don't think that if you don't acknowledge the note, it will just vanish. It's not going to vanish. But I think it's knowing what you're not willing to compromise on and sticking to it. And every movie I've had some of those things. And you can feel it. I think you as the writer, you're like, no, don't come for that. No, that is, I need that because that is the scene that we see inside the character, that we see their heart, that they start to change. Yeah. And sometimes they'll be like, but it feels like fat. Well, to me, it's like, maybe it's not clear enough yet. Maybe it's not that we have to cut the scene. It's that maybe your intention isn't coming through. And that's important information. So maybe you need to like, take a look at that scene and see why it's so important to you and make it undeniable. Yes. That's the best way to protect your favorite parts or the things that are most important to you. Make them undeniable. Yeah. No, I do find that a lot of times with a note, even if you don't, like if it hurts at first, like after you marinate on it a little bit, there's like, okay, there is a lesson to be learned here, or there is some truth that can also, whether or not it's taking the note or going a different route or trying something, it does usually spark something if you are open to
listening.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I'll tell you, just because you shoot it that way doesn't mean it needs to stay. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it feels like what I'm asked to do is like explain a lot. And I'm like, but it's so clear from her face. But her face doesn't exist yet, right? Because you haven't shot it yet. So on the page, you're like, you're going to see it on her face. But you're like, just write it. Put the line in that they want. And you could shoot it, or you could shoot an alt where you don't have it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't think that this is the final film on the page. Things are gonna change a million times.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like, put the line in, don't die on this hill. You know what I mean? Just give them the goddamn line that they want. You know, write the better version of it.
Yeah.
Put it in. If it kills you and kills you and kills you, take it out down the line.
I mean, you're
or
the director
shoot it.
now too, so
That's right.
You got the final say.
Totally.
Well, do you have the final say with it?
I mean, it's a collaboration for sure.
Yeah.
It's a partnership for sure. But I have never been forced to do anything that I didn't want to do.
Good.
In my work by studio, by my producers. Never.
Yeah. So was there a lesson from Scrambled that you felt helped with voicemails?
Yeah. I mean, I think Scrambled taught me that I could handle it.
Hell yeah.
You know? And that means just like, not just like the hats, but like, it was interesting because when I was on strike, I was worried about being able to promote Scrambled. And I called the WGA and I was like, am I able to do press as a director? And they were like, no, because you are one entity and you cannot untangle the actor from the writer from the director. And I said, you're right. And I'm not going to do press. And, you know, and luckily for me, we didn't end up doing press until the strike ended. But that was like a really kind of aha moment for me, that you cannot untangle these roles, and you are a better actor for having written the script.
Oh, yeah.
And you are a better director for having acted and understood how these characters should move through the world and how to talk to them, right? So it's like, I only feel strengthened by the different skill sets and the different hats that I wear.
That's so true, yeah.
And I don't think of it as 3 different hats. I kind of think of it as one hat.
Yeah.
With like different feathers.
Yeah.
You know, I got a lot of metaphors in me. Okay, I love a metaphor. And so I think what it taught me was that like, it was all one. And it wasn't so, the way that people talked about me writing, directing, and starring when we were like getting ready to do it was like, how is she gonna do this? Like how? Like Ben Affleck does it, you know, and I'm like,
oh my God, exactly. Bradley Cooper does it.
Right?
Yeah.
Are they hemming and hawing for them? Like, and I realized, and that was what was put in my head, was like these 3 different roles, the 3 different roles. How are you? The three. And then I realized there's no 3. It's 1, it's me. And I'm just going in there and I'm doing all the different things that I always do.
Yeah.
I always do all these things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a lot more fluid.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fluid. And if you think of it like that, and I think that's what Scrambled taught me, was like, you don't need to be overwhelmed by the different like titles. You're just like, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
And now I'm making a new project.
Yeah. No, I think that's so true. I think a lot of people like to like pick and poke and ask about like all the challenges that come with these different hats. And it's like, how about all the strengths that like, or all the benefits the movie has now, because I'm so deeply in these worlds of all of these 3 things. Because I do think so much of like the acting from being the writer is like, no one knows the character and what they're feeling more than you.
Right.
And then same with like the directing now. It's going to be so character and emotional.
Totally.
And I think that there really is
character-driven.
so many strengths that people don't really highlight as much.
Sure.
Because it's fun to talk about the challenges and whatnot. And, you know, people imagine that it is challenging because of course it is. But like there's also so much good things that come out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
What's your role in voicemails?
Play Nick Robinson's best friend.
Okay.
His best friend is an engaged couple, so it's me and Harry Shum.
Oh, cool.
So, it was all my scenes with Harry and Nick, and none with Offerman, which I would have loved. But I felt like I spent a lot of time with him, directing him. But, I'm excited.
And then Zoe's so talented.
Oh, my God.
I'm excited to see what she does in this.
She's one of the best.
Yeah, especially now, just like hearing the, the emotional premise behind it, and then your work, and then with Zoe, like, I think, yeah, we're all going to be in for, should we bring Kleenex or?
For sure. I mean, it's interesting to go from like starring in a movie to having your movie star. And I will tell you, it was actually really, I felt very protective of her. It's so vulnerable to carry a movie like this. And she is just heart out. I think she's one of the best that's ever done this. This thing called acting. I think she's the GOAT. Like, I think she is really that just innately, insanely gifted. And again, I think I never actually saw myself as Jill, so that wasn't a difficulty. I had always felt that she was my love and my character, but I was never like, I'm gonna play Jill. For some reason, that just never felt right to me. But it's a very emotional experience to have an actress take on this role that you love so much and care for her and like bring her into the world in such a beautiful, empathetic, vulnerable way. I'm just like so in love with the performance. I love Zoe.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. I mean, Linklater, who's one of my favorite directors, has worked with her twice.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I'm like, that already says enough.
Oh yeah, no, she is also his muse. She's my muse and his muse.
Okay, we are getting close on time, so I'm just going to ask my last final question.
Great.
Ask everyone, what advice would you give to someone making their next film?
Oh man. Okay, I usually have these like ready to go. I always say, go weirder.
I love that.
Go bolder. When given the choice of middle of the road or weird, left turn, go weird. I think the most important thing, I think we all want great shots and we want everything to look incredible and the craft. I think it's the voice. This needs, if you were to die right after shooting this movie, I want this movie to be a representation of your inner life and your artistic life, and really show the world how only you could have delivered this film, and what's unique about you and your POV on the world. And sometimes that can be really hard because I think we've seen a lot of movies and we're always trying to imitate what we think movie making is.
Yeah.
And don't worry about what you think movie making is. Imitate life. Imitate what you think the most vulnerable, honest, wild, crazy, feral, heartbreaking experiences. Put that on screen. And I would say worry less about everything looking like it was Dune and $1 million gazillion dollars, because it's not gonna, you know what I mean? It's just not gonna. You can't compete with it. So just what you lack in resources, make up for in bold choices and voice.
It's fucking beautiful. It's so good. You're so inspiring. Such a badass. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so Voicemails for Isabelle is on Netflix June 19th.
Yes.
Anything else that we should say or promote, or?
I don't know when
Scrambled
this is coming
on Hulu
out,
now.
but yeah, Scrambled's on Hulu.
M.F.A is on Prime.
On Amazon, yep.
Yep.
And I'm in a movie that is in theaters right now. It's called
cool.
Busboys.
Oh, wait, yes, I've heard about this because the director.
Yeah, Jonah.
Yeah. He's been doing like a lot in the indie space too, right?
Yes, totally. Yeah. He's an indie superstar, and it's written by David Spade and Theo Vaughn, and they also financed it, star in it.
Damn.
So they're like us.
Ballers,
They're feral indie kids too.
I love that.
And I'm really, it's going to be wild, but I really do salute them and have them just going, you know what, we don't need a studio, we're going to make it ourselves.
I mean, it's kind of what it feels like. It's the world that we're kind of walking into, or at least the middle ground that until we find that new world or reinvent that new world, whatever it ends up being.
The bar is so high right now to get a movie through the system that I don't think that means we should stop making movies. I think we just have to get creative.
Yeah. What a great way to leave it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.